Malta is one of the least favored countries when it comes to water resources. If we can put it simply, nature can give us around half of what we need. But if we start from the beginning of January, using our natural water resources sustainably will only get us up to June. And that's a very important fact, because over the years this has meant that we needed to produce water in different forms. We start in our history by retaining rainwater, so cisterns and storage areas, even at the household level or at the field level, moving towards more recent years with the production of water by desalination and eventually reclamation of water. So if you look at our policy, we're basically trying to diversify our water supplies. And we do this through increasing our supply base, but also trying to be as effective as possible in water demand management, and therefore in efficiency. Today, all our energy production is based on natural gas. Also, we are connected to the European grid. So there's an interconnection to Sicily, and the government is currently looking at increasing the interconnection by having a second interconnector. Apart from that, there's continued investments in renewables, mainly onshore solar PV, but even there, slowly we're reaching our technical capacity, and therefore we're looking at the opportunities for offshore, particularly offshore wind, and with offshore wind, I believe will be the big break for Malta and renewable technology. Unfortunately, that's the only solution currently available in the market. We're looking at floating solar in conjunction with offshore wind, but it's a technology which is less ready than when one looks at wind. There's also other opportunities like wave, but once more, its test case is almost lab scale. Therefore, we're looking at what is readily available because we need to do that big step. However, leaving the door open to have other technologies in conjunction with it. The linkage between energy and water goes some years back, because the difference in Malta compared to other countries is the need to produce water, and producing water requires energy. The high-level development of both sectors is very similar. The measures are very similar, so therefore the approach to consumers is similar as well. Therefore there's much sense in combining the two sectors, particularly in a case like Malta, where there's that interdependence between both sectors for the energy needs to produce waters. Combining them together addresses the similarities between them, so experience in one sector can support experience in the other, but also when it comes to efficiency, delivers a stronger message to consumers. Progressively, the higher share of renewables in the grid will mean greener desalination. From a water perspective, we also look at addressing our demand. And our main limiting factor is the availability of natural freshwater resources, which in the coming years with climate change will be more constrained. So therefore it's not a question of setting a target of desalination based on energy, but it's a question of setting a target of desalination based on an efficient water demand, addressing demand sustainably, and optimizing that sustainability along the years in line with decarbonization objectives. There is regional cooperation in the Mediterranean, which is quite strong. In the case of energy, one can look at physical interconnection, increasing interconnectivity in the Mediterranean for solar-based renewable from the south to be actually supporting the energy demands or the green energy demands of the north. In the water sector, it's different. There's interconnectivity, but from a capacity building perspective. We are facing the same challenges: water scarcity, droughts, and droughts becoming more and more prevalent because of climate change. And once more, it's the same solutions being tested, adopted, I would say even adapted in different countries, most of the time in isolation. And we can look at the water connections with energy, but we can also look at the water connections with agriculture, with employment, and with migration. So why not? So cooperation in water definitely leads to an important aspect of ensuring increased security and increased living conditions for all the people in all the countries in the Mediterranean.